Okay, now we are in snake part 2. Let's have the snake move. For the snake to move, we have to know the direction it's going to move in. For that, we're going to add a direction into our model. It'll be a D row and a D column. We've seen this before, so we understand that that's a direction. We'll start the snake, say, moving left for now. 0 minus 1 will be left. That's D row, D column. And for now, because we don't have a timer, we'll move we'll move the snake when we hit the S key. So for now, we'll say key pressed, and that'll key press takes the app in the key event. And if the key you pressed is an S, then we'll go ahead and we will take a step. Okay, and taking a step only takes the app. It's a helper function for key pressed. So we'll make take step. Okay, and it takes an app. And what take step does is it moves the snake one step in the given direction. Well, D row and D call are that direction. Again, app direction is D row and D call. Cool. Okay. So now that we know the direction we're going to go in, let's find let's create a cell or find the cell in that direction. This is the head of the snake, and this is the tail. A snake moves from its head. So we have to get that head row and head column. Okay, let's go back to take step. And the head row in the head column are the first value inside the snake. App.snake is this list. App.snake of 0 is that value, and that's the head row, and that's the head column. Cool. Okay, now that we have the head row and the head column, where are we moving to? Well, the new row and the new column are what? The new row is the head row plus D row, and the new column is head column plus D column. So now we know where the new snake should be, and we could go ahead and add snake.insert. We're going to insert into the snake at position 0 a new tuple of the new row and the new column. Okay, so let's see what happens. That'll put it right there, that new row and new column. Okay, and that's really kind of all we have to do initially. So when I run here, I go here and I go S, S, S. Cool, the snake's moving in that direction. We have a couple problems, one of which is if I hit S again, we're going to crash. Well, we're not going to crash, we're going to go off screen. Okay, so we go off screen. Another one is the snake seems to be growing. We didn't want the snake to grow, so we have to remove the tail. So that would be app.snake. How do we remove a value from a list? We pop. And if you don't give it an index, it pops the last one. So now when I do S, 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 cool. Of course, now it's going to go off screen. That's no good. So now what we have to do is only move if we can, right? So you want to write here before we do that, we want to say, hey, if the new row went off the board in either direction, or the new column went off the board in either direction, if either of those are true, then we lose. Otherwise, we can go ahead and do that. So now when we run it, S, 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 and we lose. Of course, you shouldn't print down to the console. So what we should do instead is add an ability to lose the game. And for that, we will introduce app.gameOver, which will initially be false. I'd like to think we haven't lost the game. And right here in take step, instead of printing we lose, we will set app.gameOver to true. Okay. Now, if you're going to do that, you also have to draw that the game is over. So draw game over. We'll put down here, draw game over, app and canvas. Draw game over, takes an app and a canvas. And what it does is it's only if the app.gameOver is true. You do equals true, but that's the same as just that. And if the game is over, then what will we do? We'll canvas, create text, put it in the middle of the board. The text itself can be, hey, the game is over. Okay, and we'll have a nice font. Say the font can be Arial, say 26 bold, a nice big one. Cool. And now when we run this, S, 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 that's cool. Game over. Cool. And a couple more things. We want to be able to change direction? Sure. So let's try that. So now I say if the key is up, then I want to be heading up. And this would be an elif then. Okay. So how do I change direction? All I do is set app.direction to the direction I want to go. So here I'd say app.direction equals which direction is up? Well, my change in row should be -1. My change in column should be 0. Okay. So let's try this. S. If I hit up right there, nothing happens. But it did store the direction we're going to go in, so the next S right here, S goes up. Cool, and then off the board. So now that we did that, we can do it for all 4 directions. Since it's only one line, it's actually okay to put it on the same line. So I'll then do this and paste and do L if it's down. Down naturally should be a +1. And then we can take this and do L if it's left or it's right. And if it's left, you don't change your row, but you go -1 in your column. And if it's right, you don't change your row and you do +1 in your column. Okay. So let's go ahead and try this. And now we'll do left, S, up, S, S, right, S, 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 down, S, 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 left again, S, 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 and then we go off the board. Game over. Cool. One more thing, as you go off the board and game over, you'd like to be able to play again. So you probably want to say something like canvas, create text. We'll put it a little lower than the first one. So app.width over 2, app.height over 2, maybe like +40. The text can be, how about press R to restart? That feels good. Okay, and then the font can be still Arial 26 bold. Okay, now when I run this, S, game over, press R to restart. I press R. Well, of course, nothing happens because we haven't done that. So now I'm pressing R. Let's go here and let's say elif if it equals R. Then what you want to do is you want to start the game over again, right? So for that, we don't want to redo everything from app started, and you're not supposed to call app started here, but we want to redo some of this stuff. Okay, so in particular, let's take out the parts that we need to start over. This is just the same every time. This code here is the code that you kind of reset the game, right? So we're going to put it in init snake, we're going to call it init snake and food, knowing that eventually we're going to also add food, okay? And we'll init snake and food the app. So when the game starts, in app started, we took out the code we need to restart the game and put it in a helper function that we call when we start the game. But now we can also call that code when we restart the game. So now here you can call init snake and food of app, okay? Which means when I hit restart, this happens. I go back to my initial snake, my initial direction, and the game's not over. So when I run, step, 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 up, and when I hit R, step, 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 R. Cool, excellent. Okay, of course we're gonna make the snake not start with 4 circles. We'll just have 1 piece of the body, but it's good for debugging purposes right now to leave it at 4. Okay, cool. So now we have motion and we can restart the game.